to redo. So before we get into this, I've decided to sequence a moon salutation style flow tonight. So we're moving into a new month, this week as well. So just to let you guys know who come regularly, which is all of you in some capacity, I'm going to be theming the weeks. I'm not necessarily theming them by specific types of yoga or poses or things to do in yoga, but actually theming them, I've themed them already actually, for us to just acknowledge what we're feeling, what's going on inside, how connected we are with our bodies, with our practice, with our breath. And so that each class, even though it will be really different takes on that theme, each week we kind of know what we're heading towards. So it's really great material if anyone meditates or journals or even just contemplation throughout the day and in other areas of life as well. And so I didn't want to make tonight too themed, as it were, because it's still October. So I thought we'd start this week with a moon salutation style mandala, that you can revisit the practice every time the moon is new or full or whatever it's doing, It's a lovely way to practice in the evening. It's very soothing. It's the opposite of the yang of sun salutations. So there's not up, down, up, down, up, down. You'll notice we do come up and we're down low for periods of time in the flow, but it's very soothing because it's very deep and stretchy. It's very intentional, and it's really breath connected. And I always find that moon salutations make me feel really rooted as well, make me feel really grounded and steady. We'll start with a bit of breath to open up the practice, and you're welcome to start your playlist now, by the way. So if you want to start to have that sound kind of dripping away in the background, so you've got that noise. We'll start with, and you can have the sound on fairly low, have it there, but make sure you can still hear yourself breathing and you can really notice and connect into your body, because that's what this flow is all going to be about. It's really about connecting to ourselves, connecting to our breath, and connecting to, our practice and the energy that we're feeling tonight. And as I said this morning, it's not always easy to pause enough to really feel that and to stay in stillness and slowness. And actually last night as well in Yin, we really took our time to be and in stillness and just feel. Okay, so we'll do the same this evening, except we will be moving. Of course, we'll be flowing. So come and find a comfortable seat, one that really suits you and your body. And just let yourself rest on the earth or on a prop, bolster. Close the eyes if that feels good to you. Palms can face up or can face down, whatever feels the best for your body. Let your shoulders drop away from the ears, jaw unlock, teeth unclench, face soften. And as you start to gently arrive in the body and really notice that you're here in practice, just notice your entire physical being and the space that you're in, and take a moment to really acknowledge the effort and the energy the forward movement has taken for you to get here. As the nights draw in, as it gets darker, as it gets colder, even though we're practicing from home, which is honestly such a blessing in so many ways, not to undermine the absolute magic, power, potency, and joy of being in person with each other, but having this space and this connection to practice together and yet in our own space really allows us to continue our devotion to ourselves and to our practice in a way that's really not just convenient, but actually aligned with what's going on at this time of the year. With the feeling of wanting to turn inwards, of wanting to come home to ourselves in our comfort. As we move towards end of December, January, and even into early February, there'll be that sense of hibernation, that real cocooning, definitely for January. So honoring all of this and everything that's coming up for you in your body right now as a result of the shifts. Maybe it's the jet lag. Maybe there's this grogginess, confusion, or feeling of lengthier days already, even though we're only on day 2. And just honoring the need to maybe just be a little slower, or taking the opportunity to be more productive if that's what feels good. To really expand out into the days and that extra hour it feels like we've gained. and to come in earlier, away from the dark, away from the cold. To really bed in at home as well. And another version, or really our true home, is our bodies and ourselves, this meat suit, this shell that we wear on the outside, this coat that we put on or have on, also wants us to nurture it and look after it. Coming into the yin and coming into slowness doesn't just mean complete stagnation and complete stopping. It means just honoring those things that feel really good, whether it's a walk, a home-cooked meal, a book read by candlelight, a glass of your favorite wine or other drink, conversation with a friend, connection, breathing. So if there's been a feeling or a rumbling of feeling like you're not doing enough, or that you're not ready to slow down or to stop in some ways, maybe see if you can just gently allow that part of you to just rest to one side for a moment. We don't need to take that with us in practice. Honor how you're feeling right in the now. As you come to a deeper and more conscious inhalation and exhalation, sinuses and blocked noses permitting, try and let this breath just be a nasal breath. Let there be a sense of fullness, let there be a sense of softening. We'll practice some Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. And so we'll take a breath in to prepare. At the top of the inhale, let the inhale stay in the body and close off the right nostril with the thumb of the right hand. And let the exhale leave through the left nostril only. And then close off left nostril with the finger, ring finger, and inhale through the right. When you've inhaled to the capacity at which feels good for you, close the right, exhale left, and take this breath really slowly, almost so slowly that it feels like you're kind of faking it, that it can't possibly be that slow, but let it be. Do 5 full rounds. So you're inhaling through the right nostril, exhaling through the left. Notice the pressure that you put on the nose. Let that be a feather-light touch, just enough to close the nostril and no more. No need to push or press or start to dig fingers into nose. When you've taken your 5 rounds, let go of the nose, bring the hand back to the lap, and just breathe in the center. Couple of breaths, couple of rounds of normal, natural inhale and exhale through both nostrils. You can switch hands. I quite like switching hands these days with this breath technique. It really feels like it then balances out. But on your next inhalation through both nostrils, you're going to fill up to capacity. You might even feel a presence of the breath in the crown of the head as you get to fullness. Sense of prana, fizzing and sensation there. So your breath starts to really fill the entire body. And then your exhale is going to come out through the right nostril this time. So you'll close off your left with your ring, with your thumb, and let the exhale leave through the right. And your inhale comes in through the left. So you're just going to allow yourself to just gently take your time, slow it way down. The beauty of this breath is if we slow it down, we actually get a lot more out of it, and it becomes quite calming and relaxing quite quickly. If we try and take this breath and almost hyperventilate to breathe in and out because we're fixated on the switching of the nostrils and the pattern there, we end up not really getting the full rounded benefit of this breath technique. And you're just trying to find that level of feeling yourself empty, feeling yourself full, and noticing the part between as well. The transition from both or one to the next. In the middle, when you've taken the breath, release the hand. Just let a couple of normal natural rounds of inhale and exhale move through the body. There's no pressure of the hand to the face. And just notice how you're feeling here. Notice the sensation. Mandala flow can always feel quite upregulating. It can sometimes feel confusing and occasionally even confusing. There can be a lot of feelings of not kind of knowing where we're going next. So starting off with a breath that is really steady, really balances us. Will hopefully set the tone to stay in that energy of a moon salutation, which will take in a mandala style sequence. Soothing, calming, and grounding the mind, the systems, and allowing our meat suit to stretch, lengthen, and find space. When you're ready, blink the eyes open and come to stand facing the long edge of your mat. Feet underneath your hips. So not facing the top or the back, as it were. The front and back of the mat is kind of shifted for tonight's practice. Spread the toes, let the heels land softly underneath the hips. Inhale, reach the hands above the head. Catch your right wrist with your left hand. Draw up to the sky and lean to the left, side bend. Exhale everything out here. And it's an inhale to come back to the center, stretching upwards as you reach that place. Switch the grip. Exhale, lean to the right. Empty all the breath out. Inhale, release the wrist as you reach the center. As you exhale, take your hands to your hips, soften the knees and fold. Hinge from your hips, folding all the way forwards. Letting yourself arrive in a ragdoll dangle style pose. So let the body get heavy. You might take a little sway side to side. Maybe you cross the arms over one another. Just breathing as you feel your body gently move. And from this space, release the hands to the earth. Turn your toes out, heels in. You may even wriggle your feet slightly wider to allow you space to sit down into your malasana, your squat pose. Elbows to the inside of the knees, hands in prayer at heart center, heart elevated forwards. Feel the stretch, feel the sensation. The rooting and the grounding. And you can keep your eyes closed as much of this practice as you wish. Of course, for balance purposes, you may wish to find drishti throughout practice.
Take your hands to the floor. This time, turn your toes in, heels out. So finding a wide leg fold option. Take your hands around your ankles, peace fingers around big toes, or hands to the earth, down underneath shoulders. Just notice if your legs are really wide here and your head is close to the floor, that you take away, you actually detract from the stretch sensation. So allow yourself to bring the feet slightly in so you can feel the lengthening through the hamstring. Inhale, look up halfway, elevate chest. Turn toes out and heels in. Goddess squat, come all the way up, rise up, stretch the arms wide. You're still facing that same long edge of the mat. Palms are facing forwards, back of the hand behind you. Take another deep breath in, push the knees out. Exhale, straighten the legs, hands to hips. I didn't mirror you, so hang on. Turn your right toes in, left toes to the back of the mat, or turn to face the back of the mat. So let me just see actually, because we're all facing different ways now, aren't we? We're going to face the back of the mat, okay? So this would be the top, the place you'd usually start practice at. It's going to get confusing, isn't it? I was determined to not make tonight confusing. Here we go. So flick the toes to the back for Trikonasana, triangle pose, straight line and leg pose. Reach the hands forwards and back. I try not to use left and rights too much, okay? Hinge from the hips, let the hand come to the shin, to the inside of the calf, or rest it on a block. Press down, reach up with the hand that's in the air, and push down firmly with the hand that's on the inner calf, on the shin, or on the block. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, whichever leg is at the back, you're going to frame that leg, pyramid pose. So spinning slightly out on the back foot as you frame this foot now, and fold the body over the leg. Hands either side of the foot onto blocks or onto the floor if that's available in your body right now. Pressing the hips back and up, feeling the stretch and the sensation. Forward folding is wonderful for soothing the nervous system and starting to encourage sleep hormones and the feeling of relaxation. Bend your knee, your front knee, and we're going to work into horizon lunge. So you're going to spin your toes over to the other long edge of the mat, the one you haven't faced yet. And reach that arm into the sky that's kind of like a lizard lunge. It's going to be hard not saying lefts and rights, but we're here. So all toes are pointing in the same direction to that other long edge of the mat. And reaching the top arm high, pushing into the hand that's on the floor. From here, we're going to see if we can then wriggle that front foot back to step into side plank. Now note, you can lower the bottom knee, the leg. Okay, you can bring that foot to the floor here and then knee down for a bit more support or a different sensation if you want to. Your choice, whatever feels good. And bring that top hand down so you're facing what would usually be the back edge of your mat, so the narrow edge of the mat. And step the other foot forward that wasn't forwards before. So for me, it's my left, but I know again, we've all got different sides of the mat. So we've all got different legs in different places. Reach the hands to the sky, find your low lunge. Option, Kali Mudra, hands apart, coming into cactus arms. Whatever feels like it opens and expands the chest, the front body. Bring the hands down, Skandasana at the back of your mat first of all. So spinning on the feet so you can face that long edge of the mat that you haven't yet faced, okay? So you're facing the opposite place to where you started. Bending the knee that's at the back of the mat. Move through the center. Bend your right, the other knee. So tempting to say right and left. Come through to the center, wide-legged fold, hands to hips, slowly come up. We'll start this whole process again, this time facing the other edge of the mat. So you can kind of get a feel, and now you kind of know where we're going. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky.
Doesn't matter which way you side bend, grab one wrist with the opposite hand, lean across. Make sure you fully exhaled in your side bend before you then inhale to come to center, to switch grip, and to lean in the opposite direction. And then inhaling to come to center, reaching up. Hands to hips as you exhale, fold, soften your knees. Dangle, bend your knees, let yourself be heavy. And then from here, release the hands to the floor. Wriggle the feet wider, just a little bit or a lot maybe, to assist in your squat. Coming all the way down in your balasana. Press your elbows into the knees. And slowly bring the hands back to the floor. This time, turn your heels out, toes in, wide leg fold. So it's really up to you. You could change the way that you hold onto the leg each time. And what I like about things like sun or moon salutations is because it's quite predictable, we know what's coming. We're therefore able to enhance, to kind of change the pose to really suit and fix to our body, rather than for our body to try and fix itself around the shape. So we can start to add things in, take things out as we please, as we need. Hands to hips, rise up. Turn your toes out, heels in. Sit down into your goddess squat. Stretch your arms wide. Noticing the breath. Straighten the legs, hands to hips. Turn toes to front. And now we're facing the final edge we haven't faced yet, which is our traditional sense, the front of the mat. And hinge the hip back so you can come into your Trikonasana, triangle pose. Hand to block, hand to calf, hand to floor, opposite hand in the sky. And slowly from here, soften that front leg. And then framing the foot with the hands, step it into your pyramid pose. Okay, so back heel wants to be trying to press down, even if it doesn't fully touch down. Okay, front toes are pointing straight ahead. Folding over that shin. So it's all the same leg, so it should be all the same leg that you've done so far in these poses, okay? And if you're suddenly thinking, oh no, it's not, then don't worry. We're going to do it all going the other way. So you're going to get a chance to really feel into the depths of these poses and also adapt and change things as you need to. Elevate the head and heart as you bend the front knee. Turn your toes over towards the wide, long edge of the mat, the one that you started facing. One hand presses to the floor, one hand rises to the sky. Horizon lunge. It's a bit like a lizard lunge, big stretch to the outside of that front leg and the bum and the thigh and the knee. And then we'll step it back, wriggling it back into our side plank. Yeah, so you can either stack the feet, one foot steps in front of the other, or bottom knee down. And then place that top arm that's in the air to the mat. So you come into full plank. So you can step the other foot forwards, okay? So the foot that was on the bottom of that side plank, step it forwards, low lunge. Feel the stretch, feel the space. And slowly from here, Skandasana, on that front leg. So bring the hands down, knee stays bent, but we change positions. So we're facing the front edge of the mat, the one that we started on. Hands rooted and grounded, heart lifted. Gently glide and slide to the back of the mat, Skandasana there. Nice, really good. Stay connected to your breath. This is a perfect practice. I was about to say, with absolute alliteration, perfect practice of pranayama, but it is. Come through the center, turn the toes in, heels out.
Hang out in your wide leg fold in the center here. Let yourself get heavy.
Hold opposite elbow. Really relax the head, the neck, shoulders. Think about length through the spine here.
Connect to the breathing. Release the hands to the floor. Walk them slightly forward just so that you can heel ball toe the feet in. Heels underneath hips and unravel the spine. Stacking each vertebrae one at a time.
Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Palms face forward. Close the eyes for a moment here. Feel what the body's feeling. So we're going round again. And we'll just explore the same shapes on the other side of the body. And enhancing as we go, as we want to, as we feel is good for us. Notice what you're feeling right now. Is this level of energy output, this exchange feeling good? Or is there a feeling of challenge that doesn't suit the body? Or perhaps there's more energy ready to be kind of called upon. And slowly from this space, bring your arms up above the head, link the eyes open. Any which way side bend, at any kind of side bend that feels good. So it doesn't just have to be a wrist grab, it could be an elbow or a forearm grab and a gentle pull across. Come back through the center on an inhalation and go to the opposite side on an exhalation. Come back through to the center, hands to hips, or curl the spine down, whichever feels good to you.
You might go a little further into your straight leg forward fold here, maybe hooking peace fingers around big toes, palms of hands underneath soles of feet. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to draw yourself into the pose, to the space that feels good to you. So breathing nice and steadily. Feeling that lovely expansion, softening. And then releasing the feet, the arms, turn your heels in, toes out, squat pose, malasana, elbows press to inner knees, inner thighs, chest elevated, crown of head lifting. Feel if the heels are getting a bit closer or if the knees can press out a little further. Notice that as we get a little warmer in the body and familiar with the shapes, we start to open or create more, or remember more space. Hands to the earth. Wide leg fold, toes in, heels out. Again, maybe you change up what you do. The hands could even clasp behind the back, knuckles could press away. There's always some way you can go that you haven't been yet. Okay, so give yourself the space to get there. Release the hands. Come all the way up with a long straight spine. Turn your toes out and your heels in. Open into goddess squat. Sit low. Maybe you want to raise the heels this time, balancing on the toes, the balls of the feet. Maybe you're quite happy where you are. You could just work to depth a little more. And inhaling to straighten the legs. Okay, turn the toes that would normally be at the back edge of your mat towards the long edge of your mat. And turn the toes that would technically be at the front edge of your mat to the front edge of the mat. Okay, so you've got the Trikonasana set up. And then slowly from here, starting to slide hand to inside a calf, foot, floor, block, and opposite hand reaches for the sky. Lovely length and space. We have yet to be on this side with these poses, and so allow it to be just like you did on the other side for the first few times, that real feeling of exploration, softly, softly. Bring the hands down to frame that front foot, the one that it would be technically to the front of the mat, and spin the back toes in so you can find pyramid pose, pyramid stretch. Bow the head down towards the shin. Breathe deep. Lengthen body. Horizon lunge, bend that front knee, hand to the earth, hand to the sky as you turn the toes over towards the long edge of the mat. So you're on the outside edge of both feet. As you reach that hand high to the sky, press the hips back. And then from here, step that front foot backwards into side plank. Remember, bottom knee can come down if that feels good. Then bring the hand that's in the sky down, stepping the other foot forwards, the one that wasn't at the top of the mat, okay? So switching legs essentially. Back knee to the earth, low lunge. Whatever feels good here to do, okay? Opening up the body where you need to. So you can really find lots of stability in practice, okay? Especially when we're used to in Mandala kind of flowing very freely and things kind of can move in any direction at any time. It's quite nice to find that steady, grounded and rooted pose. Skandasana. On that front leg, shift forwards into it and spin. As you find your Skandasana, hands might come off the floor here. You may wish to try the transition to Skandasana at the back with no hands on the ground. See what feels good. And coming back to the center, wide leg fold, but let it be a heavy kind of dangle, letting go, not holding. Long spine, decompression. Weight is even through the feet. So you're not just rolling the weight into one space. Hands to the earth, elevate the head. Heel ball toe the feet in. So the heels are underneath. Hips soften the knees. Unravel spine, come up. Roll the shoulders. Up, back and down. Side bend. Inhale, elevate. Any side bend is good. Okay, so wrist, elbows, forearms. Yeah, however it feels good to you to go. Just empty out the breath on your side bend and coming back through on an inhale. Exhale, soften the knees and fold. Enjoy the pace of this flow. Either hook peace fingers around big toes, hands under feet around ankles. Maybe you wrap your arms around your legs and hug them. Feel the forward fold, bringing all of its nourishing qualities. Catch your breath, watch it, notice it, feel it. Hands in front of you. Wriggle the feet. Heels in, toes out. Come and sit down in Malasana, squat pose. Hands to earth. Prasalita, wide leg fold, toes in, heels out. Find your stretch, find the element of release here. And then inhale, hands to hips, come all the way up. Turn your heels in, toes out. Come and sit down, goddess squat. Again, add in, take away, change the bits that you want to. Find your way through this pose and in this flow into the spaces that feel good to you. Everyone has different ideas of what nourishment is. Straightening the legs. Toes to the long edge, toes face the back. Triangle pose. Hip hinge, use a block under the hand if that feels good. Other hand to the sky. Trikonasana. It's confusing when there's triangle and pyramid pose, I know, but here we are first of all. One hand in the sky. One hand encouraging more energy down into the earth. Hopefully encouraging the feet to press down into the earth. And then from here, both hands frame that foot that's pointing to the back edge of the mat, hands to the earth or to blocks as you fold. Bowing the head to the inside of that shin. Feeling the length of the body here. Bend that knee. One hand to earth, opposite hand to the sky as you spin onto the outer edge of both feet. Toes point to the long edge of the mat. Horizon lunge. And then from this space, step back, side plank. Option for bottom knee to come down, it's all good. And then bring yourself into plank as you step that opposite foot forwards. Lower the back knee. Finding lunge. Okay, so my arms are going to stay down right now, but yours might lift, you might shoulder open, cactus the arms, you may even want to add in side bend. You might want to get really deep into the lunge, let the hips drop towards the floor. Skandasana, that leg that's at the back of your mat, so that front leg starts us off. Remember the options, hands down, hands away, one arm lifted. Okay, find the freedom and space in your body where it's good. Move to the other leg. Lovely, everyone. If you're just moving with your own rhythm, great. You can stay here for a couple of rounds if you want to, front to back of mat, if this feels good. Yeah, this is our last moon salutation. Eventually, coming to center and actually wriggling the feet in so you can sit down into your malasana, your squat pose. And then from that pose, tuck chin to chest and let your sit bones tip backwards. Soles of feet together. Diamond shape with the legs. Hands sliding forwards as your head moves towards the feet. Unclench the teeth and relax the face as you just let the body soften in. Feel the breath in the back ribs and the waist. Notice if you can even feel the breath in your lower back. Take another deep breath in. Have a long exhale. And slowly start to unravel your spine. Gently turn yourself so you can lay on the length of your mat. Taking your arms and your legs out wide. Arms face up. And let yourself sink into Shavasana here. Blankets, extra layers, covering for the eyes if you require it. And just allow your body to rest here on the earth. Deep, steady, slow breath to begin. Eventually the breath fading into the background. You can just be here with your presence, rooted on the earth. And the next time you'll hear my voice, I'll be bringing you back
on this space and time. Allow yourself the space and time to really slowly come back to you. Breathe first. Maybe your exhales turn into sighs as you fully release and let go. Gently moving the hands and the feet, allowing your body to reawaken physically. Tip onto one side, it doesn't matter whether it's your left or your right. And gently come up to seated. Hands can be together in prayer. Thumbs to third eye. Together we'll seal our practice this evening with a bow of love, honor, respect, remembering that we are all connected. We are one. Namaste. Thank you. Happy Monday, yogis.